and a new story must be told. I'm Samuel Axel, and this is the Samacast, your North Star for navigating a world in radical transformation. My mission is to make sense of our times by weaving together the split parts into one whole, bridging exponential technology with spirituality and purpose with creative expression. This is a space for deep thought and human connection, allowing us to thrive and evolve together as the creators of our lives. I will share my voice alongside that of artists and teachers who envision the new story of mankind through the lens of wisdom, science, and human potential. In this episode, we're joined with Rui, a sound healer and a friend from Peru who has dedicated his life to exploring and developing the power of sound and vibration for the sake of healing. Together, we dive into his journey with music, the deep connection it has to plant medicine, and the cultural wisdom of Peru as well as Europe. We also explore the transformative potential of returning to our own roots and following our own life's calling. Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode. I am sitting here in a deep forest on the Swedish west coast with my brother Rui from Peru. And we are going to speak a little bit about his roots, about Peru, about music, and about life. And yeah, I'm really glad we got to make this work. It was about to not happen, but I went here last minute to sit in a ceremony and to do some recordings with you and perhaps your Peruvian friend Mario.
Yes, thank you, brother. It's so beautiful that we are here again, and yeah, I'm so happy for this moment, for this conversation.
Yeah, me too. So, you're a sound musician. You're a master of sound, you would say, in many ways, and you got albums released on Spotify, and you've been on the music path for a long time. And but you grew up in Peru, which is quite special, in Lima, no? Maybe you would like to share a little bit about like your upbringing. How was it to grow up in Lima when you look back?
Oh, well,
what is Lima? What is Peru?
Well, Peru is a very beautiful country. It's a mixture of many things. Cultural, well, Lima specifically, it's like a big city. It's like yin yang. I have a relationship like hate and love, like big cities, I guess. It can be quite hostile. It can be lovely. But yeah, well, I grew up in Lima most of my life, and then last 2 years I moved out very late to the Sacred Valley in Cusco, to Urubamba, and I think life was better there. Better quality of life for sure with nature. In Lima we don't have much nature, actually. It's cloudy, dark, grey, no rain, and
So it's cloudy but no rain usually.
yeah, it's
It can be pretty cold.
not so much. I think the lowest maybe 11 degrees or something, but yeah, it gets grey in winter and very depressing. But also it's beautiful in certain way. I don't know, in the coast, for example. There is a malecón. It's like a cliff, all the coast, and it's all green up, and you have a cliff like 200 meters, and you see the sea from above, all the Pacific, which is a quite beautiful and impressive view of the sea, and that's a very beautiful place to be and to hang out with your friends. And I haven't seen that sight, that view in other countries. it's quite special, and you get all this air, fresh air from the. So it's also beautiful. Yeah.
Because both Peru and Ecuador and there's like 4 different climate zones in very short distance. So you get both desert, you get rainforest, you get like cloud forest, and you get like high mountainous.
Yeah, you have very different weathers and geographies. It's a big country in Peru. Yeah, I was talking about Lima and just the coast, but you have also, like you say, you have the mountains, which are pretty impressive, the Andes, and all the culture is very big also there, different. And you have the Amazon, also the jungle part, big, super big, is I think maybe half of the country or more. And it's quite different culture, weather, and nature is impressive and so beautiful. So yeah, I'm actually more, I would say, proud, or I get more smiling face when I think about these landscapes of mountains or jungle, because I've been there many times, you know, in Cusco or in Tarapoto, and the different places, the nature, and the people there are amazing also.
Yeah, they really are. I really, really, really love my time up in the Andes, in the mountain range between, yeah, also in Bolivia and the Titicaca Lake, and the energy is very, very, very strong there.
Yeah.
There is like, yeah, you feel this sanctity and this very ancient connection in these lands. So I really enjoy that.
Yes. We share the Titicaca Lake with Bolivia. We have one part, they have another part, and it is very beautiful, very special energy, for sure, yes.
I had a San Pedro ceremony by myself on Isla del Sol.
Ooh, nice.
This is like one of the most far up places I've been on in my life. It's like you're on
the ceiling
of the earth, and there's all these ruins around there, and like it goes from being like Caribbean kind of island paradise vibe in the day, and then the sun goes down, and in like
cold
5 minutes you're like, it's like Swedish winter. It gets freaking cold.
Yeah, it's cold, and the air blowing is freezing. It's dry air, and the silence also is quite beautiful. I've been in the other island, Isla de la Luna, and the silence when you're up, and you see everything from above. I don't know, there's some sacredness into that silence.
Yeah, I was there too. It was, yeah, it's quite something. But yeah, you grew up in Lima, and you're a musician. When did you come into music, and has this been a very natural process for you of developing this creative?
Well, I think it started when I was maybe 10 years old. Just flute lessons in the school, like very basic thing with a wide flute.
The traditional with the...
Yeah, actually the sound it's a plastic flute, but I was quite good. I was very good, and that was just the starting. But then I changed school and forgot about it a little bit. I actually normally don't say that I started with this. I normally say that I started when my dad gave me a bass guitar. He in one of his travels, he came back from Mexico and brought me a bass guitar and an amplifier. I was 14, and that started everything. I had my friends from my neighborhood, my closest best friends, which they wanted to start a band. So my friend was a guitar player, they had his drum player and the singer, and it's like we were hanging out every day, and it's like, hey, why don't you buy a bass guitar? And I'm like, what's that? "Oh, you don't know what's that? I've never paid attention to that. And they started to teach me. You hear that background boom 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 boom? Oh yeah, I can hear it. So I started to train my ear, and yeah, after a couple of months of being prepared, yeah, I received this gift from my dad. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, maybe let's have a band.
An amazing gift from your dad.
Yeah,
Bass guitar.
the best gift, the best ever.
You still have it?
Yeah,
In Lima?
no, it's in the jungle with my mom.
Ah, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And that put you on a... Like you got in touch with this thing of music, and then...
Yeah, I'm a rocker. I love rock. So I was listening to a lot of rock. I don't know, Queen, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Beatles. So I started to learn some songs, and then yeah, my friend was writing already songs. Yeah, we were very young, 14, 15. So yeah, he was the creative. He was already ahead some years in the guitar. He was good. So yeah, we had this band, Los Chovis.
What does that mean?
It was a game. We were one day playing Zelda in the Nintendo, and some friend, yeah, the four of us, the bandmates, we were starting to be, and yeah, it was like, watch out, because there are creatures in the games, So creatures, you can say in Spanish, bichos.
Mm.
It's not really the translation. It would be bugs, but bicho. So if you switch the syllabs, like you put it backwards, it's like chobi, 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 chobi. So we said, and he said that, like, hey, watch out for the chobi. And we hear, what is chobi, chobi? Hey, that's a nice name. Okay, that's our name. It was very funny.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so your entry to music was more rock and psychedelic music, and then...
No, it was not psychedelic, actually. That was rock, like indie rock, ska, a little bit punk, indie rock, ska influences. We had a lot of fun in our teenager years.
Mm.
We had concerts, we had groupies, we had fun, and we made people dance, like this innocent mosh pit of, yeah, just let it out. When you're a teenager, you're full of energy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you kind of facilitated concerts for people to get that teenage
Release, yeah, releases. Yeah, it was very fun. And I was quite shy, so the bass guitar was perfect for me, because the bass, it's in the background, but yeah, thanks to that, I started to feel more self-confident, and music gives you that a lot. So then I started to dance a little bit more, move, enjoy, and then eventually my own energy pushed me towards the front. I already, I became less shy, and I wanted to be more in the front. So it's like, okay, maybe I should learn the guitar also. And it was a long transition to learn other instruments and to do other explorations, apart from the bass and from that band. Mm-hmm.
And then because now you're mostly doing sound healings, so which is very, very different spectrum of
exactly
of music. So why did that happen, and what do you find in sound healing?
That happened because I met my old teacher from school, which when I was very little, like maybe 5-6 years, I was in a French school, and there was this workshop, and the teacher was like a shaman, musician, very, very good teacher. And I remember when I was 5, yeah, I had these images of him teaching us to connect with sound through seeds and listening to the sound of the rain, of the seeds, sticks, the rain stick. And so I remember very well that it was for me one of the most sacred ritual moments of being in a school, you know. It's like a bubble of another dimension of reality, of exploring sounds. And that memory was there somewhere. And when I was 17, my mom told me, "Hey, do you remember your old teacher, Tito La Rosa?" "Oh, yes, of course." "Okay, he's gonna give a concert, a meditative concert. So are you interested?" And I was, "Oh, yeah, of course." So she invited me to one of his sound healings. And I was, of course, in that time I was, yeah, with this rock band and all this. So I came to his sound healing, and poof, that changed my life again. I was so impressed by his sounds and his instruments, and I had a meditative experience with music. So that changed everything. I started to understand and to feel, okay, music can be also this, not only entertainment and have fun. It can heal, and I felt very healed. I felt at peace, relaxed, good, like very into my spirit. And that was super surprising for me. And in the end, I came to him and I looked him and, "Hey, do you remember me? I'm Rui."
From when you were 5.
Yeah. And he did. And he told me, "Rui, alumno." Yeah. And yeah, it was very warm receiving me and a hug of. So yeah, we reconnected. Of course, I don't have many memories with him. When I was 5, I was just a student, a baby, a kid.
Yeah.
And then he gave me, I bought his album. Also, I bought his album Ritual, and oof, that was a CD, an album which was with me. Was very important for me at that moment, because I treasured the experience in myself. That was already very important, but also I was listening to this album for, when you, I don't know, you have this like favorite book.
Like a CD.
Yeah, CD.
Yeah.
Yes, physical.
Yeah.
Back in those times, I had my CD player and I was listening one and one. And that is him with a keyboard player, Tavo Castillo, which is very talented. And he was very new age-ish sounds of super, keyboards, pads, and a lot of quite psychedelic side, but very mystical. So they were doing together this album, and it's amazing album. It's there, it's out there. You can listen to it also.
Oof, I want.
So then I was like, okay, I need to create some music. It was my soul wanting to express in a different way of music. That's how it started.
Beautiful. And that's 13, 14 years ago now.
Whew.
Maybe longer.
Oh yeah, I'm 32. That's a lot. 15 years ago, maybe. I was 17. Yeah.
So you've been refining.
Well,
And
yes. I mean, that's the first. The first step was that's the first seed planted in me. Then he had a course. He opened up a workshop, a course about healing sounds with the instruments of ancient Peru. So my mom told me again, "Hey, have you seen? He's doing this course. You should go."
Ah. What instruments could that be?
Sorry?
What instruments would that be?
Yeah, so we were exploring very simple things. For example, a bamboo stick. Only he made us even work this bamboo to peel the layers and work a little bit like luthier kind of things, but very symbolic. You're peeling off layers, like as a meditative process. And when we build already our instrument, then it's like, okay, now that you have this, you made with your own hand, connect with it, go, and whenever you find a walk, nature, or wherever, blow. Blow this, and yeah, it's as simple as that. But it was much more than this. It's starting to learn from the wind and the breathing, the breath, and the sound that it gives back to you. That was one of the instruments. Also, we saw the vasijas silbadoras, which are these clay whistles, but with water. That you have two pots and you move one to the other side, and it's a super mysterious.
Do you think ancient civilizations across the world used sound as a way of kind of alchemy?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, many cultures. I think every culture, and to use it to connect with God or nature or the divine, whatever you want to call it.
How does it do that? Why do you think sound and music has such a impact? Because it's like before there were any religions, there was music, and music was and has been since as early as we know. Music and dancing has been the way to come to God.
Yes, for sure. Because I think because you're saying the truth, and when you're saying the truth, that is pure. And when you have an instrument or a drum or whatever expression that it comes from a pure place of truth, that is sacred. It's like a confession.
Yeah.
To God or to yourself, and that is divine. It is a conversation that you're never lying. When we talk, sometimes we lie and we lose it.
Yeah, it's so incredible in many ways, and it's like I had this conversation with Emmanuel the other day, a friend of mine who is a musician as well. That he hadn't tuned his piano for a long time, or for some time. It's pretty good, but a little bit out of tune, but it makes him play it less. And for me as well, when my sitar is out of tune, I don't play as much because it's like it's not resonating. And also, even more so, we are instruments for God, or especially for our own voice. And when I'm out of tune, it's much more difficult to sing. I don't do it as much. So it's this interesting thing of constantly tuning ourselves to.
Yeah, but what is to be in tune or out of tune? That's my question. Like, maybe if you say from a point of view of certain purity of the soul, okay, I can understand that. But you can still try and try to be in your own tune within yourself. But when you talk about the standards and the conventions of musical theory and blah blah blah, that came later. That is very cultural, and I don't think we should worry too much about that. I mean, I know it's important. I also received musical education, but for example, the ancestors of Peru, they have a lot of instruments that are not in tune. Let's say regular C, D, E, Do, Re, Mi. For example, a lot of sikuri. For example, the sikus is a very beautiful instrument. It's just the blowing, bamboo cañas. How do you say the? Well, that, for example, that's an instrument from the altiplano, from the highlands of Peru and Bolivia. We share a lot of this, and they have a lot of these instruments, which they tune how in the way of, I don't know, they just feel it and they are playing it, and maybe one town, one tribe has one tuning, and the other has a different one. They cannot communicate.
No, it had to be, because the tuner is a modern invention, and before there was no standard.
So they didn't listen to is imperfect or is not good.
They would tune it according to the nature. Because we receive sounds from nature.
Exactly.
And we can tune our instruments to whatever frequencies.
Yeah.
In our local environment. And it's like, I study Indian classical music, and the first note is the sa note. It's like the foundation. If you have a building, that's the first note. It's present in all scales and all the ragas, and like if you can find that like tone, then you can easily find all the other ones. But if you don't have this foundation, like this anchor or the roots, you're lost. You can easily become lost.
Nice. That's very interesting. I don't think we had that understanding of the root note as now or the key, which key,
No.
I think it's what I was just saying about the sikus. They go with imperfection and with a different kind of order, which is aesthetically beautiful. When you sometimes we have these conversations with friends, we decolonize our ear. It's a process of decolonizing, because we've been trained to, this is out of tune, this is tuned. And in sound healing, actually, when you have two frequencies that are very close to each other, but they're not the same note, they're not the same frequency, you produce a vibration, a third vibration. And for example, you play in the sikuris, you play one instrument, I play another, we play at the same time, and it's a slight difference. So that the meeting of these two frequencies gives birth to a third one, but this third one is like a phantom note, and it's like a resonance that is kind of coming into your skull, like in the brain, in the bones. It's it's very healing, and they call it in physics, I think. How was it named? Batimiento, which is like
right,
and that
it's
is
like reverberating.
Yeah, and that is really a mystical experience of healing. When you go to a ceremony, I have my dear friend Rafo, which works a lot with this. We have worked together in sound healing and ceremonies, and when you generate this tone, you go deep in a healing that you would never listen to that in Western music. So thanks to this understanding, you can be open to receive this imperfect, note.
Right, exactly, because the way of Western is a very mechanical understanding of music and some kind of exact rigidness of this is where D begins and this is where C ends and this is and it becomes kind of a bit more one-dimensional, while music in a way musical,
because you have this concept of right and wrong, of this is right, this is wrong, you shouldn't do this, it not sound good, but what is good? I mean, we should explore more, because maybe what's good for you is not good for me, and each one of us has to explore sounds and not being afraid of the aesthetic or it's good or bad. And when you break that, you free yourself, and it's very healing.
So how could an everyday person with a life make more use out of music? Like, would you encourage people to like learn to play something, even if it's just something small?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in simple things you can find the most profound experiences, even in music. And I would say I would encourage the people to explore more, to just go and do, because you don't need to be a musician in order to explore, dive into sound. You can just play.
Yeah. Because it's interesting how much we've been programmed to like, oh, if I'm not like Beethoven or like freaking Led Zeppelin or something, then there's no point in even doing it.
Yeah, and people, I've seen many times people say, "Oh yeah, but because you're the musicians," and it's like people are giving away the role, the response. I mean, it's you. I will never, be like you. Or it's like, hey, we're pretty similar. Also, if we find just the courage to try out, at least be like beyond our fears and limitations or education ideas of we can just be more playful, like with your inner child, and go and play. You make your mistakes as a kid, and you will learn a lot like this.
Yeah,
take risks,
and it's like it's life. Like we are music. Rhythm is happening all the time.
Exactly.
There's a rhythm in your heart. It's you're like singing when you're speaking. And I feel like it's this invisible tool of mastering existence in many ways, and learning to like coordinate, direct my experience in my being.
Yeah. I think it's about being more playful, allow yourself to make some mistakes. You will see that the mistake is a great teacher, and not judging yourself, to be wrong. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm allowed to be wrong, to make mistakes. That's so liberating. And if you jam, for example, that was one of my schools for life, for music, the jamming, to be with friends, jamming, open up to, hey, everyone is invited, everyone is allowed to come and join, and we listen to each other. You train to be open and listen to your friend, listen to the stranger, what ideas he might have. It's like, okay, you have a good idea, I support you, let's go. Let's create from that idea, which is perfect for fertile, So in the jamming, you're one. You open the empathy, this oneness that everyone talks about, the unity. Yeah, and when you jam, you listen. You are one, and then you realize, okay, if we listen to each other, we can create better things.
Right. Yeah, it's such a beautiful way of connecting and dancing. That's not through the mind directly or through theories or words, but through feeling.
It's just expression. Like, express what you have. Say it.
What happens when we don't express?
Oh, I read the other day this in Instagram quote.
Yeah.
When you don't express, you get depressed. When you don't express enough, you might get depressed because you're all closed within yourself.
Yeah. Like your energy gets stagnant in your being and polluted by your mind. And it's like music through expressing in music or whatever art form. But it's like detoxifying the mind and creating so much liberation in creative energy.
Yeah. liberation is healing. That's when art and healing and spirituality comes together. This liberation we are all longing for, looking for ways of liberating your soul, your
Yeah.
emotions.
And it's funny, when we have when we have when we have friends, when we have food, when we have a home, when we are able to play music and dance together, and like we don't need $1 billion.
No, we don't need money
It's
to be
nice
happy.
to have money, but it's just so fascinating how much joy and satisfaction we can derive from like these super simple things.
Yeah, of course. I mean, our ancestors, the old ones, many generations, yeah, probably they didn't have money and they were happier. And they were more probably in tune with their ways of expressing or their ways of connecting with divinity, whatever that might be. But still, the divinity, many times, is surrounded by music, chanting and praying, doing sounds, always expressing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it also feels like an important mission for me to show aspects of music that are more connecting to the soul or to God, because there is so much music out there. Maybe not all of it is coming from this deeper sense of kind of resonance or place of kind of wanting to elevate the consciousness of people, which doesn't have to be all the time.
Yeah.
But it just, when I sat in my first ceremony and experienced music in this way, it just opened up so many doors, and this is the actual, it's not just for entertainment, it's actually to like go deep within my own being.
Yeah, liberating. And there are many ways, of course, as you say. Now we are talking a little bit more of the sound healing or the connection with the divinity or pure. Of course, you can have a different perspective, and if your focus and intention is to entertain, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. Nothing to judge, and I think it's still healing. Every genre or every music style can be very healing. Even I don't know, let's say heavy metal. Okay, why would you think that is not healing? I think music in all aspects can be healing. I myself, even, I know one time I was very blocked and a lot of repression in me, and I had some coach that told me, buy this sack of sand, to hit, or this thing to release, and I was putting heavy metal and punch this.
Oof, I love it.
And man, heavy metal can be so full of energy to release and to heal yourself from what you don't allow yourself, these aggressive impulses, and it can be very healing in its own context. If you need, it's like a pill, a different color of a pill, of a medicine.
Yeah, and it seems like different ways of music is a way of getting an outlet for an emotion or like a sensation that you have inside of you. Which, if you don't get this anger out, it's gonna pollute you.
Yeah.
If you don't never express it, it's gonna eat you up from inside, and you're gonna get sick.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna lose your power. So I agree. I love from time to time to put on some Rage Against the Machine or some Linkin Park, and I listened to a lot of Linkin Park when I was like 13. I was so fucking angry all the time. And go out or listen to Eminem. I did some boxing with a friend, and we had a boxing fight and listened to.
Nice, and that's therapy.
That's
therapy. Music is healing in many ways. I also I have the same playlist. I also this kind of playlist I was telling you when I punched this thing. Yeah, it was Linkin Park and Rage Against the Machine, or even in the bike going and having some adrenaline with this background music. So I learned not to judge the the music, the genres, and not to say, oh yeah, I'm spiritual, I'm healer, you're not, or this is not healing music. No, I think everything can be healing, and music for dancing, in my culture, the salsa, bachata, and a lot of this warm tropical cumbia. Yeah, you dance, you move your body, it's super healing, but in its own context. So you just switch one to another, and you can find your liberation in everything.
Yeah, very well said. Yeah, totally, totally. Everything plays its own part, and rather than comparing, because it's so easy to do that, comparing my stuff to someone else's, and like, oh, this person's doing this, and this is so da da da, and kind of putting oneself down. Just kind of no one else can express that which I can express in my music, in my sound, in my work.
Yeah, of course.
And now you live in Europe.
Oh, yeah. Now life changed.
In Holland?
Yeah.
Your mom is from Holland and you moved there 1 year ago.
Yeah, from January. Yeah, all this year. Yeah, so my mom is Dutch. I'm half Dutch, so yeah, I lived most of my life in Peru, and now these past years I was like feeling the ancestors, the other ancestors, my European ones, and I came, and I'm healing a lot, lots of healing here. I moved to the Netherlands this year, and I'm trying to understand what it is to be a Dutch, what's this culture, and the Nordics also.
Yeah. Yeah. And we spoke a bit before about people in the West going to other countries for their spirituality, especially to Peru, but to all of Latin America, or to India, or to Africa, or many places to rediscover something that is maybe not lost but forgotten in Europe. But what do you see here, coming here?
Well, this is, they say, the old continent, right? So, well, everything is well structured, like the the architecture and the cities, the old cities, very beautiful, very old. It's well organized. There are many good things I find, and the wealth also. A lot of resources that in other continents it is a little bit not so well organized in a sense. Well, there are many things. I see also this, what you were talking about, people traveling a lot of people that are trying to find a deep meaning of life, because I see a lot of materialism here, like people making a lot of money and fulfilling their dreams, their lives, but then at some point it's feeling empty. A lot of people feeling empty, and it's like, okay, where is the meaning, the deep spiritual part of myself? Where is it? I've seen a lot of people disconnected from the source, from God, like atheists, not believing in God or church or nothing, and very rational, like rational thinking, not believing in a lot of the things of the spiritual traditions. But I see also that is changing a lot, like trying to rediscover, to feel that void, and many people are going to South America to have some profound experience of healing, of spirituality, of where is God, what is God. And they go many times to ceremonies to drink ayahuasca or San Pedro, and I think this is a very interesting moment, because when I was living in the Sacred Valley in Peru, in Urubamba, there is you see all the Europeans going to heal themselves with shamans, and I was hosting retreats there, so I see this from very close, and it's like it's this exchange,
Yeah.
Okay, give me your spiritual wisdom and wealth, I can give you my my material wealth and wisdom, which I think you know very well. Like, Europeans are very good making money.
Well, some of them more than others, but yeah.
I think it's a good exchange when it's fair,
Yeah.
It has to be fair and with respect. And there's a lot more to it.
But the point also being that maybe it's time for us here to rediscover some of our own roots that have been neglected for a very long time and kind of pushed aside.
Yes.
Because I think in every human there's a longing to connect to God. And since we kind of, when we came out of Christianity and the Middle Ages, we kind of threw out God and everything that was related to anything spiritual, or became this very Newtonian kind of separated scientific reality.
Yes, I think now it's like we are all learning, because I think the most important thing is to honor our ancestors. And ancestors are from every culture. So,
do you mean ancestors in our own individual and like personal?
Yeah, from our own story of
Our own lineage.
So every culture has a lot of wisdom and ancient practices of connection to nature or God, or rituals and ceremonies, and even medicine plants, power plants. So I think the only difference is that in Peru and not only Peru, in many countries, but in South America we have this indigenous resistance very strong. Bolivia and Peru, we are a living culture of indigenous wisdom. I mean the conquest and the all this colonialism, and that they killed and they did a lot of things, but they didn't wipe them all. And we resist, and still resisting. And I mean, I don't know, in Chile, in Bolivia, and in Chile, in Argentina, you see that they're almost gone.
Yeah.
You see they are very much Europeans, and not so much honoring their ancestors, or you don't see so much the resistance. They became much more Western, but Peru, Bolivia, Colombia, and a lot of this, South America, but more up.
Yeah, especially Bolivia and Peru. Bolivia is
we're
it's
indigenous.
like a wild. I love it. I love Bolivia.
And a lot of wise elders there alive, teaching our traditions and our wisdom, and it's so alive that, of course, you can go to Stonehenge and see beautiful, but they're dead. You don't learn something.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you that's why people come to learn of these traditions and get so much wisdom and inspiration, and it's like healing so much that then, okay, let's go back to our own countries and spread these ways of living, of respect with nature, and and all this. I think it would be nice that, I don't know, we see our European side of wisdom. What were the Vikings doing, for example?
That's a very good question.
What were they doing? Because they ate mushrooms for sure. And they were very wise, also having ceremonies, but we don't know.
Yeah, they were warriors and very, very strong, because you had to be very, very strong living up here in the north
Yeah.
without modern infrastructure that we have today.
Mm-hmm.
Very rough, but it's so amazing. You will find these old ancient stone sites and monuments, and I love that. And each place has its own energy and kind of thing to bring to the table. I see that it's kind of I'm putting a puzzle, or
Yeah.
weaving together, because
Exactly.
it's not everything plays a part. Everything belongs.
Uh-huh.
There's no error in the game.
No, it's just remembering, remembering and honoring. Okay, for example, you come from Sweden to Peru to have medicine and learn. Okay, go back to your country, and maybe you will realize that you also have some medicines here, and it's like, hey, we can also start to honor what we have, and start to, from the inside, start to remember, no, what's the good things that can be very useful now in these times. And I think that's very important, because in the end there is also this small crisis, well, big, of ayahuasca. Peru is selling and exporting, and everyone is taking this medicine.
Yeah.
And it's not infinite resource.
Definitely
And-
not.
And instead of only using this, you can do a ceremony with mushrooms, very profound. For example, if you honor these medicines from Europe enough, and remember, reconnect, and there are so many medicines to learn.
Yeah, definitely. And ultimately, kind of nature, and we are the medicine in some way, and
Yeah,
these things can point the way back,
exactly.
but it's not the solution. And in some way, just asking ourselves, or me asking myself, what am I looking for? What is it that is not already there,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm searching to find? And that is the journey. But
Mm-hmm.
in some way, it's kind of come back to that it's already there.
Yeah, it's us. It's nature, outside, inside, our own nature. In the end, is that these medicines, sacred plants, they're just a little help, a reminder. But there are lots of people that don't drink, don't need, don't try, and it's perfect. It's just one tool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a fascinating experience being human on this planet in this time. And yeah, but I don't know. What do you see looking ahead?
Yeah. Well, now I'm in this search for honoring my Dutch ancestors, which, I don't know, they were pirates, but of course there were more than that.
They were really good at selling stuff.
Good.
Salespeople.
Yeah, I'm starting to see and learn that probably Holland, Amsterdam was where capitalism was born, modern, because they were selling stuff from India, from all this Silk Road, and of course a lot of piracy and slavery and bad stuff, but in the end, this networking, the networking traders all around the world, and it's like, hey, globalism. Now we are already in in the highest point, or I don't know. But it's very interesting to look back and see, hey, these guys knew something. They were good at things and honor the good things.
Definitely.
hmm They were very good in also the digs and the channels, and to build a country. Basically, they built the country because it was flooded and very difficult land to live on, and they made so beautiful, majestic work in with all these bridges, and it's like, wow, these guys know about water. Very good to work with water
Yeah.
and land, and it's like, wow, it's a very high wisdom.
High wisdom of the mind, and I'm like blown away by. I mean, we're building so much here now as well. It's like how we're capable of doing this kind of infrastructure building,
Yeah.
calculative, very mind things. It's a very important aspect to. That's why we have the quality of kind of life that we have here. That in many places they don't. Like in Peru, I remember, you would walk. There would be like 15 guys, like working by hand, like digging up the rocks, and which like a tractor could do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's impressive to learn. Well, to learn about cultures, and yeah, I'm in that honoring this side of my lineage, and bringing with me my own experience and the things I've done, the work I've done, the music and all this I've done. I bring it to this side of the world, and it's well received. It's like, wow, yeah, some things. And I like that. It's more and more people are open to, learn about ancient wisdom of Peru, of, mysticism and spirituality, and that they start to believe more in this. It's not, oh, this is mambo jumbo, because many people are very like that, only believe what I see with my eyes and can measure it. But people are opening the minds, and I see this expansion and this awakening I think it's in all Europe. It's big.
what do you see here compared to like in Peru or in other places? If there's any way, but what I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know. So many things I see.
Do you see people searching here
Searching.
more, or like are open?
Yeah, the openness is more and more happening, like because new ways of spirituality are happening. Many people are like, not believing in a lot of things from the past. Okay, the church and how they torture people, and so the bad things of spirituality, more and more not well received. The control and all this, and it already. Like the Dutch, they're transforming the churches into everything. They don't care much about because of many things that happened. But now it's like, maybe we need to preserve something, at least some core basic connection with something. So let's do try out where is it, and accepting outcomers. Okay, I accept this culture because it's bringing me closer to some sense of spirituality. And I think there is in the end, I think we are all going to nature as a spiritual, as a religion, like a bigger one. Like nature is everywhere.
It really is. And then it will just be. It's gonna be obvious as the sun.
Yeah.
Kind of. And yeah, I do feel like we are living in very prophetic times, very special times, very important times, especially in the next years to come. It's a lot on the table in so many ways. And staying sane.
Stay sane.
Keep laughing.
Yeah.
Staying with friends, and being grateful, and actually kind of envision what life do we want to create for ourselves and for our family and for
caring for each other. That's caring for each other. And what you say about prophecies, there is this prophecy that is the prophecy of the condor and the eagle. They say that when the condor and the eagle are flying together in the skies, there will be peace. And it's symbolic. It's very symbolic. The condor is the south, the south, and the eagle is the north. And also, you can say the condor is like more the heart, the warmth, and the eagle would be like the mind, the some say the money. There's this way of seeing life, very practical, but the condor is the depth of. So there is more to it. It can be very deep, but I think this is happening. Like, look, this moment, you north, me south, we're doing a bridge, a beautiful connection of being together and learning from each other, and this is bringing peace. This is bringing a lot of peace for everyone.
Yeah. No, it really is. And just a few decades ago, this was not really possible. But now we are living in a time where it's actually possible through digital communication and through means of traveling, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
So let's keep on doing that.
Exactly. Yes.
Nice. Any last words you want to share?
Well.
Or you want to continue?
The last words. Well, let's keep on believing in peace, practicing peace, love, togetherness, to help each other, to care for each other, to not being indifferent to others' realities, and stay with empathy and compassion always towards everyone, especially the oppressed ones, and to share the wealth, spiritual wealth, the wisdom, the material wealth, everything. So because now we see the world as a world, as the planet Earth, this globalization, we know we are one. Before, maybe we didn't know. It was so far away, we didn't know nothing about the others. But now we are one, and okay, let's really practice this, to help the humanity, and I know we all can help, and I think the indigenous people from each culture or each reality, they are the guardians and the keepers of the wisdom of the earth and the knowledge that many people that are living a life of very modern, civilized, they don't know, and they are maybe empty of something, and let's honor these indigenous more and more, and not repress, not kill, not as many many ages have happened like that. I think that would be amazing to honor our own traditions and each country culture, and that's how we build peace from inside, from the core of the earth.
Yeah, it really is. For building it inside of ourselves.
Exactly.
Because we are the core of the earth.
We are the core, yeah.
And there can be no other way. And also, like, remembering that it's not about projecting this into the future, but to, like, how can I embrace this unity or this interconnectedness or this empathy and compassion and, like, humanness now. And it's not easy. Like, I have days when I'm fucking pissed. I have days when it's like you're just not there, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And but to strive for
we are a network. Sometimes you cannot do it by yourself. Everything. It's too much weight on your shoulders. It's not meant to be like that.
No.
We're a lot of people, networking, and it's so easy to just say it and ask for help or share or be at service to connect, and is the age of Aquarius, the new age, so
Oh shit.
yeah, it's a big network now. Big network.
Yeah. Beautiful. Maravilloso, amigo.
Beautiful.
¿Quieres
friend.
tocar algo para vosotros?
Oh, sí, claro. Traje acá una mamaquena. This is a beautiful instrument.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you much, brother.
Thank you for this conversation. And let's enjoy the evening in ceremony.
Ooh, ceremony's coming. Yes, enjoy.
Yes. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Tack.
Tack.